All right, so I have a question for everyone. Who likes to vacation? So our next panel is going to be how blockchain is changing our vacations. Okay, so just a quick introduction. Who you are, what you do, and why you're here.
Hi, everybody that likes to vacation because you're here in Miami. So obviously, if you flew in, I'm sure you had a lot of fun last night at Gabriel's shop or somewhere else on Miami Beach. I am Erica Gemma. I am CEO of the Bitcoin Center Miami. We just opened about a month ago. We opened up the Blockchain Center in downtown on Flagler Street. So if you guys are interested to come learn about cryptocurrency, we're also a co-working office and event space. So if you want to use our Wi-Fi, our bathrooms, and our coffee, which the coffee in Miami is really good, we're open for free for the summer to anybody that wants to come by. So I'm here, Maria's here if you need to talk to anybody about the Bitcoin Center Miami, located inside the Blockchain Center.
All right, hey guys, my name is Daryl Coleman. I am a cybersecurity professional with over 5 years of experience. I represent BlokTech Atlanta chapter, the best chapter out there. So whenever you guys are in Atlanta, Georgia, feel free to reach out to me. I'm also the CISO of CTEX Markets. We have a booth right to the front. So whenever you guys have a little free time, check us out. Yeah, I'm here, to basically talk about cryptocurrency, blockchain, and security.
My name is Leonardo Miller. I am a technologist, passionate about cryptocurrency, and as well as an investor. I work at Visa, although I'm not representing them here in this panel. And I would love to share my knowledge on the payment industry and cross-border payments.
Hi, my name is Peter Groverman. I'm an entrepreneurial attorney from Philadelphia. I'm the CEO of a company called Grovara. We specialize in taking American-made healthy foods global. And crypto and transportation and travel are certainly dear to my heart.
All right, so for your first question, how will travel and logistics affect the way that the blockchain is represented? In what manner?
You go ahead. You first. Go. Okay. All right, so travel and logistics, the way the blockchain is represented, I think it's interesting because we're moving into a world that is increasingly global, and so you're seeing technology reflect that. You're seeing technology that, people are able to live from wherever they want and still work. We live in a gig economy where people take one job at a time. And that's really beneficial for us here in Miami because if you are working from your computer, you might as well live somewhere that is beautiful, sunny beaches, great people. So I think that as everything is moving online, you're seeing that reflected in the places that people choose to live. They're no longer going to be restricted by having to go to work every day into an office.
Yeah, that's a great point. I also agree that in globalization, many industries are impacting globalization, beginning with travel. If you can't get to places around the world, then it becomes difficult to buy anything there, right? But now with the flexibility and you can take a plane here and be in California in the next minute, and then you can turn around and go back to Shanghai and have lunch there, per se, and be able to transact. Cryptocurrency, being an international currency, allows that to happen.
All right, so I'm going to give probably a different twist. So I think about it from a reward standpoint. Say you want to travel and, you have credits or these rewards that are treated like tokens, and basically you're able to kind of redeem them on any airline. So it makes everything transparent as far as like the logistics. If you choose to, go Spirit, Delta, Spirit sucks, but Delta or even like Southwest, you can use those reward points to take whatever airline you want to for whatever destination and even like transfer them to your spouse or your friend. It makes everything more realistic and more, simpler to do, and basically just make it really easy. So right now, you can't use your own personal rewards and transfer them somewhere else or even go buy food with them. You have to use it for one specific airline, possibly could buy a ticket for someone. But yeah, that's possibly it. Yeah.
Did anyone in the audience use Cheap Air and Bitcoin to buy their ticket to get here today? Raise your hand.
I've used it before.
Anyone? No? Just curious. I did not. But I do know people who are doing it. There are a couple here. I thought that was really interesting. So.
All right, guys. So your next question. So I'm sure you have all traveled overseas, and you have probably had a distasteful, unpleasurable event of having your credit card or your bank card declined. How can blockchain and cryptocurrency facilitate this issue?
This is a question that it's very particular to what I do, and I don't want to say anything that's wrong. I do believe that, global payments is a big challenge for the industry as a whole, and the challenge that Bitcoin will face, the largest challenge that Bitcoin will face will be the fact that each country has their own domestic currency, and that's going to be true for a long time, despite having an international currency that we all agree is pretty good, such as Bitcoin. So the need to transact both internationally and domestic will be the biggest challenge for something like Bitcoin, because when you are transacting in Bitcoin, you have to convert that back to your domestic currency. Not necessarily the case if you have Bitcoin being used for other goods and service inside your domestic country, but the challenge would be to have local hubs of where they're trading the Bitcoin currency into the domestic currency, and these hubs will be the key to having travel Bitcoin be accepted in the travel space, because then you're converting back and forth from domestic to international currencies. So I believe that that's the biggest challenge, and but it is a great way to make that challenge be solved.
Okay, so I agree and disagree with certain points. So I guess with the limitations for when you travel and you're using your credit card is basically to help protect your data or protect your money. And so you have those restrictions that say, okay, you're not in Europe when you're actually in like Miami right now. And it helps the users to a certain extent. But what if you're actually in Europe or in Miami and you have to go and approve these transactions? With crypto and Bitcoin per se, or any type of payment method that you're using related to cryptocurrency, it becomes easier to do because you don't have those restrictions. And you don't have that extra level of security, but you become your own data stewards. And I think that's what crypto and Bitcoin and everything comes into play, is that you have to monitor your own transactions. You don't have those red flags to basically limit you on how you want to use your own money. You don't have to go and ask them to give you your money back or say, hey, I am here. Please give me access to the hard-earned money that I work for,
Just about international travel, it's really nice to be able to still have your funds with you because you know your private keys and not have to worry about them getting confiscated when crossing the border. So it's interesting because you do have Bitcoin running parallel to all of these different fiat currencies, and when you travel a lot, your fiat currencies are not valid depending on what country you're in, and Bitcoin is valid everywhere.
Yeah, I agree on all points.
Yeah.
I'll go first. We can move on.
So, next question. All right, so I'm going to bounce off this BlokTech guy right here. Okay. So you mentioned the reward system, right? Yeah. So how can our average, everyday, today consumers be rewarded and benefit from the blockchain and cryptocurrency system?
That's good. I love the transparency of the blockchain. I'm in the world of food. Being able to see, where your fish is coming from. Everyone likes sushi. Well, a lot of people like sushi. But no one wants to buy fish that came from slave labor. Being able to have the transparency of the supply chain with food, to me, is the biggest reward from blockchain. And being able to make sure that we can hit, certain ethical standards with our unique industries that we all are a part of. How was that? Good to go first for that one? You like that? All right.
All right. Can you repeat the question one more time?
Okay, so I'll say it for you. How, with our current system, and you're the guy who brought it up. Anyways, so with the current reward system, how we have it now, with the average consumers, they have the points and things like that, and some people have been suggesting blockchain technology to facilitate that. How can the average consumer benefit from the cryptocurrency blockchain system as a reward system to replace the current system?
Gotcha. So, yeah. I did come up with that. So, all right, the average user can basically say you're a consultant, you're traveling probably 5 days out of the week, and you accumulate all these reward points. And as an everyday consumer, who's to say you're going to use all of these? What if you have a family member that's in dire need of travel, or they just want to go on a vacation? Can you transfer those reward systems or those tokens to that individual user so they could go and have fun? So you're using your actual points and your actual credits or even tokens to go buy food, to go buy an airline ticket, or to do whatever you want to. Do you have that accessibility to or full autonomy for these your rewards that you've received, that you've worked hard for, that you've earned? And I think now, because you have certain companies like General Motors, for example, is using blockchain for their reward system. So you not only have to redeem them yourself, but you have the option to give it to whoever you want to. So.
Yeah, that's a great point. I think that to what you mentioned, it's key to the market, because I met somebody yesterday at the open ceremony. It was a fantastic event, and they were using blockchain to log the source of cattle and meat from production all the way to consumption. And I don't want to trigger anybody out there that's a vegetarian, but their business was very interesting because it touched to what you mentioned. There's a lot of raw goods that needs to be sourced from particular areas, and depending on where you source them, it makes a big difference in how the customer feels when consuming that product. And this is where blockchain enables you to track the life cycle of a product from production all the way down to the consumer. And it's not necessarily to the rewards of, when I think of rewards, I think of cashback rewards or something like that. But you are rewarded as a consumer by using a product that you know is not a fake and that is proven true to not be a fake by the fact that it's on the distributed ledger that you trust.
And I got one more thing. Hold on. So even say, for example, how many of you guys traveled here via airline? I guess you have a few. All right. How many of you guys actually checked in a bag? So that itself is a headache. You have to wait 20 plus minutes just to receive your bag. What if you had something associated with the blockchain that shows you exactly where your bag is at every given interval? So if you need to charge up your phone because of a long flight, then you could go and take that break and you know exactly where your bag is. Or a startup comes into play and say, hey, we're going to deliver your bag to you because we see that you're in this location, this designated place, and we don't want you to waste your time here at this, this turntable waiting for your bag itself. So there's a lot of opportunity out here.
Erica?
All right.
You're good? Are you sure? All right, so next question. How can businesses who deal with local tourism and logistics benefit from using blockchain?
Accept Bitcoin for payment.
Yeah, good answer. How can travel agents, there's a lot of the industry itself. I mean, this event is proof that we have purchase power and that there is an organization and a community. So maybe targeting the community. I know some people are doing like crypto cruises, or there's a lot of different events that are circling around this community. This community is only going to continue to rise as more people get involved with cryptocurrencies. And I think that maybe it's just a target demographic that people can diversify into. Crypto tourism.
Crypto tourism? Okay. You guys have anything to add?
We can move on.
Oh, I would say create or invest in startups
Okay.
that's building these really remarkable, useful technologies. Yeah, useful technology that they can incorporate in their overall platform that makes everything easier. Blockchain to me is a very viable use case that uses, though you're not your sensitive information, but really your personal information that you can share, and it makes everything more transparent and easy. So by investing in these startups and whatnot, I feel like, these companies can actually benefit from it.
So how do you as individuals, I guess, envision crypto tourism and blockchain tourism across the world globally, and how it impacts communities individually?
Because the world is getting higher technology, the world's actually getting smaller in a sense because you can travel from one place to another. I think that also too, because Bitcoin is run by math versus the few people behind the scenes in each country that have the ability to print more money, you're going to see a world where people are going to be able to transact that, A, we're not able to be participants in the global marketplace beforehand, and then B, you're just going to see like cultures and everything meshed together. But then also, I think you'll see localization. You're going to see the ability for small communities, like for example, what we have here in Miami, to be running together and like maybe using like a reward system just in Miami only. So, I mean, the possibilities are endless, but I kind of like to talk about what has already been implemented, which is like Bitcoin as a currency. Sorry, I don't think that answers the question. It was a long question. But.
No, that's a great point. And to highlight that, I believe that, the value of a blockchain and Bitcoin, it's really big when it comes to its currency aspect and to its Internet of Things aspect. And when we talk about payment processing or payment systems, it becomes a lousy payment processor and a payment system. I think the maximum Bitcoin transaction today, you're looking at 8 transactions per second that can possibly be transacted in Bitcoin. And you take a system like Visa, where you have 67,000 transactions per second. And the value in payment processing in particular is not there for Bitcoin, but the value of Internet of Things and how it can connect the world and make it so you can bring everybody to a digital standpoint, bring the physical world and account it for it in a digital realm in the blockchain, and use a currency that everyone can agree on is the best form of currency that's not powered by a local government that has specific motives. That's what the euro tried to do for Europe, and that it's doing in Europe. And that's what the US dollar serves today as the global currency, saying that the UN is making the dollar unbiased for the United States as much as possible. But the value in Bitcoin as a currency is extremely powerful. And the value of it as a tokenizer of physical items for the Internet of Things is extremely powerful. Now, and then I hear being a payment processor or something like that, and I get tugged, because that's when its lousiest point is probably how fast it can process a transaction or how well it can do that.
Yeah. All right. So I definitely agree with both of you guys. And really, the thing is, I guess Web 3.0 in a whole is going to build bridges. Like you said, it's going to bring those guys that never had a chance to participate in the race to actually be at that starting line. And I actually, hands down, build bridges, and that's about it. Okay, can you hear me? All right. So blockchain itself and Web 3.0 is going to build those bridges that we don't have right now. A lot of individuals will be able to be at that starting line, as I mentioned earlier, and have an equal chance to win the race. So, your individuals in these third world countries can actually network and send transactions or have these different opportunities that we have currently. And also, with kind of decentralized currency altogether, you're disrupting a large entity in certain countries that's very controlling and overruling and overpowering. So.
In the last decade, there have been over 1 billion people on the planet who have joined the ranks of the middle class. 1 billion people who now have spending power that they never had before. What are they going to do with that money? They're going to get a pet. They're going to get married. They're going to travel. So you know, crypto's got a good opportunity here to really, and blockchain in general, to really target these new middle-class members and take advantage of their disposable income and affordable luxuries that they're now able to procure for the first time.
If I could add one last thing to that, because that was a fantastic point. You know, the basic necessities of a human are what we aspire to do is definitely in line with that. And I think that one item I would like to add is that when previously to joining the middle class, they were in a situation possibly where they have a regime government with lack of centralization of their own coin or hyperinflation as we see in Venezuela. How can you travel with a Venezuelan dollar or a peso, and how can that be effective in other countries if the money you receive has no value cross-border? So the enablement of the middle class, coupled with the power of a standard currency, you enable the effectiveness of that person's currency to be utilized across the border. So it's not their local currency that is ineffective in other states or countries.
All right, guys, can you guys give a warm round of applause to our wonderful panelists? Love their answers. You guys did phenomenal.